Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's on DisneyPlus.com. It is Sunday night. It's time for some live Q&A. So thank you very much for joining me. If you're in the live chat, please let me know if you can hear me. Always like to check. So we've got quite a few people already in the chat. And see Johnny T Zone has just become a member. Thank you very much. We've got Dana, we've got Stephen, we've got Bubba Trolling all in there. So hello to all of you. So we have got tons and tons of new questions to be going through. We've got lots of stuff. We've also got lots of great questions here joining already in the live chat, which is always good to do. So how this works is basically Patreon and YouTube channel members can submit their questions in advance. So we've got quite a lot of them already. And we've also, as I said, we've got the live chat. If you're a YouTube channel member, you can join in there. So you can become a member, or you can use the super chat function as well to become and send in your questions as well. It all helps support the channel. And yeah, there's loads of it. So as Johnny said, they can hear me, so that's great. Stuart says he likes the new opening graphics. Yes, yeah, we've had some great new graphics done. It's been great to see all of this coming in. Right, so let's jump into it. So let's start off with some of the questions. So what I will do is, as I tend to do, is we do a few of the pre-done ones, and then we'll jump into the live chat and kind of jump in and out. And as per usual, I like to start off with the main one for the title, which Joshua asked, with the Tolkien rights apparently now available. I think it's up for sale for about $2 billion, and that gets you the movie rights to future movies, theme park rights, video games. And do you think Disney should go for them? And if so, what do you think they'll do? Now, as I said, $2 billion to buy these. There is a loophole that was able for Amazon, was why they were able to make a TV series. They were able to kind of go around this contract. Now, it's important to note, this does not include the Lord of the Rings movies that Warner Brothers made. So that's a big issue, which I think might be... I personally would say, if I was at Disney, I'd be like, no, we're not buying that. We're not spending $2 billion on Lord of the Rings for a couple of reasons. First off, The Hobbit, I think that one was written in 1930 something, and therefore the rights to that one that book will be going into public domain probably in about maybe 10 to 15 years. Lord of the Rings was in the 50s, so they got a little bit longer. So they've only got a short window of maybe 20 plus years. They've also got they're going to have to make a movie. They might want to sell the game rights off to somebody else, license them out, and like putting stuff into the theme parks. Now, while I would love Mordor and I think it would be a great area within the theme park area. It would really help you battle with the Harry Potter land. I do feel like there's a lot of money that not only is it $2 billion to be put onto just buying them, then they've got to spend a lot of money doing them up. I personally don't think it's a good. It would make much more sense to me for Warner Brothers to do that, get full rights and to do stuff. But yeah, so for me, I would say no. So a question here, Knoxwave says, are you a fan of the Lord of the Rings franchise? I have seen all 6 movies. I did go and see the Lord of the Rings ones all at the cinema when they came out. I've got the extended editions on DVD. I really enjoyed them. I'd never read the books, but I really enjoyed the movies. I thought they were great. And as Caleb said, I got a feeling Amazon will acquire the Lord of the Rings franchises. So they got that upcoming series coming up. And for me, that in some ways devalues the value of that brand, because whoever buys it, they're then going to have to create... They can't use the movies or the TV series. They're going to have to... I don't know. I just... like I said, to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I know, and also, would it not make more sense for Disney to spend that $2 billion on buying other rights to maybe unknown things that they can utilize for 50 to 100 years, make their own things, invest in something else? I just feel like that's a lot of money for something that's a lot more limited than maybe we would like. So let's jump into the next question. So Connor asked, do you think Disney will have possibly paid to remove the last of their shows from Netflix? Now, there's quite a few Netflix questions, so I might just do the Netflix stuff now, and your question might come up, and I might just kind of say we've already touched it, because there's quite a lot of them. So obviously this week, the Netflix series were... a load of Netflix Marvel shows were revealed to be leaving Netflix on the 28th of the month. They've also got... a lot of stuff elsewise, like movies, like I think like Radio Rebel. There's some 20th century stuff like FX things like Pose, American Horror Story. Yeah, so it looks like Disney's done some kind of deal to buy a load of stuff to get it all off there early. I'm expecting, obviously, internationally, everything will just end up coming out to Disney Plus, and then it makes more sense then for what's going to happen next with like the Marvel series. Are they going to go to Disney Plus in the United States and be like the backdoor in to start offering some mature content for adults? I've said this as well to quite a few people online in the last couple of days, and I'm wondering whether or not, and I'd love for you guys to chime in with the chat as well. Do you think like these Marvel Netflix series could be the way of introducing like the age ratings rather than doing like a big star launch, which gets a lot more attention? Kind of go, here's all these Marvel shows, you know, we've got new parental controls, they're there, please use them. And whether or not it might go for a little bit easier if they do it through Marvel than trying to do like they did with Star, where they try to do a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think this is going to have a massive impact on there. There was a couple of other questions, and I'm going to bring this one up here. Where was it? To kind of tie into this one. For example, Man said, why do you think of the mass exodus of Disney Plus content? Do you think they'll arrive on? I think they're all going to go to Disney Plus. I think this is a prime opportunity to give Disney Plus a massive boost in content that will really give it a boost. They could put it to Hulu, but I really don't think it makes a lot of sense. Josh, you said with the Netflix, what would you like to see moving forward? I'd love to see some more Daredevil. I actually went through Netflix yesterday just to see where I was on those series, and I realized I nearly didn't watch the end season of nearly all the shows except for Daredevil. I don't know if it was because they announced that they were leaving and I just kind of stopped watching it. So that was a little bit of an issue. Dana also asked, do you think they will spread them out or do they do one a month? I personally feel like if they're going to do this big drop, and if they bring in it to Disney Plus in the United States, you do the lot at once, you enable the 16, 18 plus activation for the US and use that as a massive selling point to really boost up in March. Because I don't think they should wait very long. I think they need to get this onto Disney Plus on March the 1st or March the 2nd. You don't want it sat around for ages. I think dropping it weekly, I think they'll have to do, you know, I just feel like they've got to drop them all at once, and it's one big push to Disney Plus. I think it will be a huge way of getting people in on it. This then ties in. I'm just seeing here if we've got any more questions on the Netflix stuff. So here we've seen Gavin said, we've seen Paramount pull content such as Star Trek from Netflix. Is this something that Disney should be doing with other shows in the UK like 911 and Grey's Anatomy? I think some of this might depend on how long the contracts are left. You know, if there's only like 1 or 2 years left, or even maybe 6 months, because I think like New Girl is one that's on in the US. How much is it worth coming off, and how much, that's the thing to do. So I think that's going to become the real big issue. Gavin also adding the Marvel shows from Netflix to Hulu could be a bad move, as it would probably increase the value, which we know is only going to suit Comcast. Do you think they would? I think they're going to test the waters. I think these shows are perfect examples of trying to get this general entertainment content onto Disney Plus in the US. I feel this is the perfect prime example. I'm just going to see what we've got here. Johnny said it'd be nice to think if Daredevil got a season 4 and The Punisher got a season 3. Totally, yeah, I'm 100% on this one. Kayla said, I got a feeling that the Star tile overseas will fade. Yeah, see, this is what I think is going to happen as well. Like you say, it's going to go into multiple tier tiles like 20th Century, Hotstar, FX. I think they're going to, instead of getting the whole Star thing, we're just going to introduce hubs. Disney, and they might have to add a few more things in the US before they can do it, rather than going with this big Star thing. I definitely feel that you're bang on that one. Lego Ninjago said, I think, yes, it would make sense to add the Netflix series onto Disney Plus in the US because Marvel's main home is on Disney Plus, and it would fit what Bob Chapek said on Wednesday, 100%. If Bob hadn't have said all this stuff about general entertainment, if you'd asked me in December, I would have said no chance. But it really does kind of change everything with this going forward. I just lost camera. Oh, there we are. We're back in. Yeah, so I definitely feel like had this been like 2 months ago, I definitely wouldn't have thought that was the case. But now I'm definitely thinking we could see this one. Let's see what else we've got here on this topic. Josh has said, does everyone agree that they would need to reboot Iron Fist if it does? See, I don't. Maybe they do need. I mean, I haven't watched the second season, but I think, like you said here, like Iron Fist and Luke Cage should be rebooted. I don't know. I think they just give them a go with a new writer, because I don't think there's anything wrong with the actors and stuff. So I definitely think that would be nice to see how they do that one. Let's see if we've got any other questions here. I think we had. I know there was a lot on Netflix today. Okay, so here we go. Steven said, following on from Disney buying back content, could they end agreements with Prime shows like Buffy and Futurama? I think there's a difference of if it's shared, there's no reason to. If it's shared, you might as well just let that contract go. Yeah, there's no point buying it out. And you also asked, Woman and the Widow is a Netflix original but made by 20th Century. Could they potentially buy it? They could do, but I don't know. It depends on Netflix. Might have just brought that one outright. I believe that's how that one worked. Okay, so I think I'm just checking if there was any more on the Netflix. There was, as I said, there was a lot of stuff on Netflix, and they'll kind of lead on into some other stuff. Knoxwave said, will we see Marvel's Cloak and Dagger streaming on Disney Plus while the Runaways is available? Cloak and Dagger could be another good reason to come over. I know in some countries, I think like here in the UK, it's on Amazon at the minute rather than on Disney Plus. I think in Australia it might be on Disney Plus. I'm not sure 100%. But I also think that not only does Daredevil and stuff bring that over, you could also bring over like Hellstrom, Hitmonkey, and MODOK. You could do that as well. And also Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's one that kind of flew under the radar. That one's also going to be leaving Netflix at the same time. So there's a lot of content. Yeah. And I think the questions, but yeah, there's been a lot of Netflix stuff. So let's jump into some other questions. Right. So here we go. So Daniel said, with only 3 seasons of Blackish showing up on Disney Plus in the US, do you see them adding them? I do. To be honest, the advertising for this Blackish was really quite bad. They kind of leaked it and then they deleted it, and then it came out the day before, and then they changed it, and then on the day it came out, they only added 3 seasons. I suspect the other 3 seasons will be arriving, or the other 4 or 5 seasons will be arriving at some point. I was hoping for season 8 because I haven't seen that season yet. So I've watched all 7 seasons. I think it's a great show. And I've also I'm looking forward to season 4 of Grownish, and I've just got about 3 or 4 more episodes left of season 2 of Mixedish. Gavin, so we got a lot on general entertainment as well this week. So Gavin said, with the announcement of general content being added onto Disney Plus US, what sort of shows are you expecting them to add? Is Disney almost accepting that they need to add star content? Yes, he just fills in again with what Kaylee said earlier. I don't think they're going to go with star. I think they're going to just squeeze stuff in and then do the tiling of 20th century. I think they're going to go a little bit softly with Disney Plus in the US. I think they might, if they drop Daredevil, they can then just slowly start easing things in. I don't think they're going to get that same drop that Star had with like 500 titles. If they can drip feed a show or 2 a week, they can do that until they sort out what they're doing with Hulu. But they could drastically really increase the level of stuff dropping in. Even if they just go to TV 14 and PG 13, really just use that content as much as they can. Okay, so Elliot says, will there be any more legacy content added to Disney Plus? What would you like to see? I honestly think now that with what all is going on with this general entertainment stuff, I think in the US especially, we'll probably start seeing what we've got internationally, where you're going to start seeing more dropping, but more recent stuff that's more family friendly, kind of maybe TV 14. And I think you're going to start seeing that. I don't know if there's going to be much more of the what maybe people are looking for, more of the Disney side. I think they've probably got the bulk of what they want on there. They've got this massive library of other stuff that's much easier to put onto Disney Plus, especially if it's already programmed into Disney Plus internationally. It's got to be a lot easier to sort that out if the movie or these shows are already available in another country, just to turn them on. So I think you're going to probably see a lot of stuff like that happening. You also asked, do you think Disney Plus will be adding more Disney Junior stuff like Big Bear in the Blue House and Peanut Butter and Jelly Otter? Probably. I think they are definitely going to be adding this stuff in there. They're going to be adding a lot of content in, and hopefully as well that comes in internationally. Let's see what we've got on the live chat. Joe said, so glad that Disney will be getting the Marvel shows. My favorite would have to be Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Couldn't get it. Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. I know when they drop, I'm expecting them in the UK anyway. I probably am going to try and get through those later seasons and just do that one. No, said I finished episode 1 of Snowdrop and the book Boba Fett finale, episode 7. I enjoyed the finale, but I did find with Snowdrop, because it was subtitled, it was a show I was probably going to watch. I thought hopefully it was going to be dubbed, so I could do it and like carry on working and stuff. But with it being subtitles, it means I have to really concentrate. And yeah, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. Johnny says, do you think the revival will be coming to Disney, will be a Disney Plus original international? It has been confirmed it is coming to Disney Plus internationally. We've had it officially. Disney have informed me of that. I think this whole thing of like a Disney Plus original and Star original is a bit murky, even just with how they're promoting it. But I don't know. I think this whole terminology will probably be changing a little bit. Lego Ninjago Production said, a Romanian translator said his team have been tasked by Disney to finish subtitling Disney Plus Romania by the end of May. Do you think that this is a sign of launching here in June? Maybe not June, but they have said summer, so July, August. But they're probably going to want to get that done, and then they're going to have to check it and go through it. But yeah, I definitely, that's a very good team. That's a very good way of doing it. Ricardo said, what if the Defenders show was the key to Disney Plus for more mature content in the US and introducing the age restrictions? I don't see how those shows on Hulu can sit. Yeah, I 100% think that's how they're going to do this one. Let's see what else we've got here. Do you see them adding any extra scenes? No, they're not going to touch them. They'll leave them as they are. And a lot of people are more worried about them editing them to be more sort of family friendly. I don't see that happening either. Steven said, what trailers would you like to see Disney showcase at the Super Bowl tonight? Personally, I'm expecting maybe a Doctor Strange, as that's the next big one. Maybe Lightyear, and either a Moon Knight trailer or a Disney Plus sizzle reel. Kenobi, off chance, but there's going to be something. But those are the ones I'm expecting to see. Let's see what else we've got here. Boba says, I see Disney adding ESPN Plus to Disney Plus without MMA and boxing. It was kind of strange. Bob Chapek was talking about sports, and he was talking a lot about like sports in Europe and stuff is a little bit more complicated. I think they're going a lot more heavily into sports and betting and things like that. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if like ESPN Plus became available like within Disney Plus as a paid add-on. I could see that happening like they do it with Hulu, and then they can keep bits and pieces there. Johnny says, I became a member. I miss attending these live streams. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining in. Dana said, any update on the Comcast Friday deadline? I haven't seen it. I have been looking. I assume that after like yesterday morning, we're probably not going to have one over the weekend. Hopefully, they make an announcement pretty soon on that one. I'm going to be checking all week. This is going to be something I'm definitely looking forward to. Johnny T said, do you think Obi-Wan Kenobi will have a teaser? 50-50 on this one. Okay, got lots of questions coming in here. Almost said Bob. I keep saying Bob Iger. I'm constantly doing it. I've even typed it as well. It's just habit. It's a really bad habit. But yeah, I do keep saying Bob Iger. Joseph asked, why has Disney released a Proud Family on DVD? Will Disney release the Marvel series? I think they're still trying to sell stuff to people that like having hard, like physical content. I think with the Proud Family, the original series, they might as well do it because it's already available, probably on other formats. I don't think they're going to release the Marvel series. I can't see that one being brought in. All right. And Daniel said, when Hulu is fully brought out, if merged with Disney Plus, could they keep the Hulu name under the general entertainment section due to its American? See, I think if they might do it slowly enough that Hulu becomes less important as they keep going on. See, as you said, if the Hulu apps continues as a live TV service, I don't think that necessarily means. See, that's what I think they're going to do. Is I think they're going to keep Hulu live TV running as its own separate thing with Disney Plus within it. That'll be how they get around it. That's my way of looking at it. Joshua says, easy way of dealing with issues with the wrong name, just call him Bob. Yeah, just call him Big Bob. That's what I'm going to just call it. Connor says, great to see shows like The Dropout and even the Kardashian series releasing on Disney Plus the same day as Hulu. Hopefully this release strategy is here to stay. I'm really hoping it is. It's a lot more easier to do that rather than what they've done with like How I Met Your Mother, also How I Met Your Father. They've also, it's a little bit messy as well with the second season of Dollface. The trouble is, I think as well as it's getting Hulu to go to the weekly drop is the issue, rather than, because when they're dropping a whole season at once, it's a lot. I think Disney like to do things weekly on Disney Plus, so we don't get used to it. So that's definitely a way of dealing with it. But the Kardashians, yeah, I think that's gonna be a great series. I think that's, though to be honest, I have never seen the reaction to a Disney Plus start or to something coming to Star Everywhere as the Kardashians. The Twitter and the Facebook and the YouTube, for some reason it blew up, and a lot of Americans saw it and got a bit confused over the tweet and didn't realize the UK was involved. And yeah, the Kardashians had more of a reaction than Tom and Pammy, to be honest. And the Dropout looks really good. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Knoxwave, will the Hardy Boys from Hulu be streaming on? They have done a deal. I know the second season is coming on, and I'm going to be honest, I always think of the tag team rather than the show. Yeah, Johnny says, I'm not going to be watching the Kardashians. They don't see. I've watched a few episodes of the Kardashians, and I know that I'm going to be ended up watching this one. I just know. Paramount Plus on Tuesday. There's a Viacom investors. Yeah, all these companies tend to do these kind of things with these investors. Right, so Daniel says, with Comcast potentially pulling back NBC content from Peacock, do you think this could lead to Disney buying their stake? I think it's going to happen. I think it has to happen sooner rather than later. Aero G said, what do you expect them to announce before or during the shareholder meeting, as a different group of people could? The problem is with this shareholders meeting is it's obviously for shareholders. There's a lot of publicity right now from the theme park fans that are really annoyed at all the price rises and the reduced in stuff that's been happening at the parks, and they're trying to do a campaign to get Bob out. And the thing is ultimately you can't get rid of Bob Iger as a CEO from the shareholders. They can try and get him off the board, off the place of the board. But the problem is shareholders are looking for money right now, and if they are doing really well, which they've done well in the last week with the recent thing, they've also, and I think this is going to be the big announcement that will keep all shareholders on side, bring back the dividends, because they've stopped that while the pandemic's been going on. If they turn around and say we're giving out dividends again for shareholders, that'll keep them all happy. And yeah, I think shareholders are not looking to Bob Chapek right now and thinking we need to get rid of you. I think it's just, and I also in some way look at, like with Bob Chapek, he's only been without Big Bob around for about 6 weeks without him really gone. I also feel like the pandemic wasn't really he's not really had a fair shot, because they had to make changes at the parks. They've had to cut back on stuff all over the place. They are reintroducing the live entertainment. They did have to make cuts in order to make it survive and to get through. I know everyone looks at Disney and they've got to make money, but they did have to make cuts. Like every single business had to. The important thing is from now on is how do they put things back? There's going to be some things that they probably wanted to change that they never could, and they have done. Not necessarily agree with some of the things they've been doing, but I feel like he does need a little bit longer, because he's had the pandemic to deal with, so that does really, really change. I feel like the penny pincher was probably exactly what we needed in terms of Disney running it, rather than someone spending a lot. My big thing is, how does he go from now on with things reopening? How does he, bringing back the entertainment, bringing back those little touches that make Disney better rather than cost cutting? There is also another problem as well. Inflation. Everything is going up in price. I mean, energy bills, food, mortgages, rents, products, everything is going up. So Disney is going to go up in price. And some of that isn't necessarily, there's nothing, Disney can, that's everything. Everyone's having that issue. So I definitely feel like it's a really tricky situation. Kayla said, I saw the Chapek interview on Bloomberg. Good to know he's renewed contract with creatives on the entertainment side, and he invested this investment in sport. But the trouble is with I think we're keeping mum is I think until he's sorted out what he's doing with Hulu, he can't say too much. I think they can't do it yet. And as I think you said, but yeah, I'm going to keep doing it. Let's just do that one. Johnny T said, do you think older 20th century movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s will eventually be added? I think I think anything that's remastered and ready to roll in high enough quality with subtitles and all the rest of it is much more likely to be put on there than something they've got to do. And do you know the reason for the Ice Age Adventures? No, they've not said. I believe it's more likely going to be down to subtitles and dubbing. I've seen the movie. Don't worry about it. It's not really worth worrying about not seeing it straight away. I don't like that they've done it, but I wouldn't necessarily think that they should actually be doing it. It's not good. Let's see what else we've got here. We're just going to do a couple more of these last few pre-done questions before we then just jump into the live chat for the rest of the show. We've got about 20 minutes. Joshua said, when do you think we can expect official dates for the next wave of D2 launches? It could be either at the shareholders meeting. Q2 would be, what's that? That's March, April, May. May might be a good time if they are literally going to be doing it like July's time. So that could be what they could do. Yeah, we've done that one. Oh, yeah. So Matt said, was there any official announcement why the Assembled for Hawkeye series was posted as an individual movie or as part of a TV show season? Yeah, a few people pointed this out. I personally feel like this is a way because they want to get more eyes on this special. Maybe they've been thinking that less people are watching each episode each time they release an Assembled because they think they've already seen it. Or I don't have a problem with them doing them separately. It fills out the Marvel section a little bit, but I think that's probably like what we're going to get. Man Married said, what do you think when do you think we'll get the US list for March, and what do you expect to get next month? Right, so usually the US ones drop around about the 15th of the month, but that can vary from the 15th right through to the 21st. So it's not always bang on the 15th. So all I know is this week, from probably when from Tuesday onwards, I will be checking my email continuously, checking to see if I get that list. It will usually come at the most inconvenient time. I've usually either started eating or we're doing something. It's usually at the most inconvenient time. Then after that, we get the UK list. The Canada list usually comes a little bit later, a couple of days, and then Australia's list comes much later down the line. As far as what's going to be on there, obviously we know most of the originals like Cheaper by the Dozen, Turning Red. We're going to get West Side Story. We've got that Robots documentary. We've got Moon Knight, and we got new episodes of The Proud Family. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we get like a Nat Geo series in there as well. But I think all those Netflix stuff are going to drop and be spread out throughout the month. I think there might be some other stuff from ABC in the US. I'm thinking if they drop all those Marvel series, I mean that's good enough. That's good enough for me. Okay, so we've done that one. Ryan says, what titles would you like to see coming to Disney Plus? In terms of legacy content, I just want to see some more older stuff. A lot of the Disneyland shows with Walt Disney, I'd love to see them. And just more old stuff. We're very much kind of like anything like pre-1980. There doesn't seem to be a lot of stuff. So more and just classic stuff for older people to watch. Get some different things on there. Put up a little warning at the beginning. Just say that, this was filmed at a different time and get it on there. Steven says Nightmare Alley is out on 21st of March. Will it come to Disney Plus at the same time? So obviously it's on Hulu in the United States. It only got released in cinemas here on the 20th of January. So it's not even a month yet. So it might hit on that same date, but it's been a bit hit and miss with these Searchlight films. But with the Oscars, I think the Oscars might end up be why that one will be dropping on there. Frank says, since Disney Plus and Paramount Plus are doing bundles, could you see other services doing that in the future? They might start bundling. I could see Paramount Plus and like Peacock doing something, but yeah, I don't think so. Right. So Matt also put in a question, but we've done that one. Do you think they're going to add a general entertainment hub? I think they're going to add like an ABC hub, and then they're going to add a 20th century hub. Right. Okay. So we are now just going to be doing the live questions for the next 15 minutes. So pop them away. Well, let's jump into them. So I'm just going to go through, see if I missed any here. While I've been doing all the pre-done ones. So Lego Ninjago said, interesting, Disney Plus has already added Central and Eastern Europe dubs and subtitles to over 500 titles, including some Disney. See, that's the thing. If they just keep doing it and keep adding to it, then they can get to that number. But you said 500. If there's going to be 1,000 plus shows, they're only halfway. But yeah, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Right, so what movies would you like to see on Disney Plus General Entertainment? I'd like them just to start putting in some of those 20th century titles, some of the touchstone ones. Push the PG-13 boundary a little bit. I don't think they necessarily need to go into the R-rated yet. My camera's just dropped out. There we go. Well, what's going on with my internet? I'm going to be putting in a report later about that. Yeah, so I definitely feel like they don't need to push into the R-rated stuff. Just start using that content a little bit better. Noel says bring the She-Hulk in the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to do She-Hulk yet. I don't think we're going to get a She-Hulk trailer until after Moon Knight has ended. Let's see what else we've got here. Ricardo says, with the announcement of Futurama coming to Hulu, it's clear that it's going to be around for most of 2023, so they'll wait till 2024. I think they probably have to be like that at the minute. They can always shift things around at a later date. Steven says Prano and Canto 2 had enough. I'm guessing enough, Bruno. I love that song. I loved that one when that one came out. That was definitely my favorite one out of all of them. Let's see. I think that's right. So we're going to just jump back into some of the newer ones. Here we go. So Johnny T said it'd be nice to see some more older movies for me to see. I think eventually Disney should bite the bullet and put Song of the South on Disney Plus. Anyway, like you said, I don't think that movie is ever coming to Disney Plus. I think that's never going to be added. And I don't think no matter how many things they put in, they're ever going to add that movie. Thank you very much, Derek, for the your super chat. Thank you very much for that $2. It really makes a big difference. Thank you very much for your support. Johnny T said they lost the rights to the iconic Squirrel from Ice Age, which was my favorite character. Let's hope for the lost hope for the franchise. I'll be honest, Scrat was always the best part of Ice Age movies. That thing has been going on for a while, but Disney's obviously decided that it wasn't worth bothering with. Even the person who created Scrat even emailed me about it, telling me all about it. So it was kind of quite weird. Of like, I saw it the other day where it's like, wow, she got there. So maybe that's just the way it was, but I thought that was great. Thank you very much to Lady Jennifer Snow. Thank you very much for your super chat sticker. Thank you so much for your support and for just being a member. That really does make a huge thank you for that one. Johnny T said, be nice to see more Touchstone Pictures move onto Disney Plus and maybe the Disney Studio Ghibli movies. The thing is with the Ghibli movies, they are on HBO Max. Disney only had limited access to them, so they're not actually something that they can move over. Yeah, I think just putting stuff in. Kayla says, with Disney Plus testing out the live streams, it's a lot easier to integrate Hotstar overseas and possibly merge Star Plus with Latin America. Also, wouldn't surprise me if they got another licensing deal. See, this is what I feel the live stream really makes a big difference. With the trouble is with integrating the Hotstar is the sport, and if they want to go down the sport, they're going to want to have to bring the ESPN content in. But I think it really does make a massive. But also it means that they, like you say, they can merge Star Plus and Disney Plus a lot easier with all this live stream. Literally, I feel like in the last 6 weeks, with the live stream tests for the Oscar nominations this week, general entertainment being added, Bob talking about it, Snowdrop being added, all this ESPN, it's just changing a lot. It is changing a lot. My VCR says, are you looking forward to the WWE ad in the Super Bowl? Is there a WWE? See, this is the thing is I have to go on and find them afterwards. And I don't know. I mean, I watch it every week. And I'm watching it pretty much whenever they drop YouTube stuff. So It's always funny. I always remember the one where they did the get the F out. That was their one. Dana said, if Disney included Marvel shows up to the setting 18s, do you think the US will start adding the Nat Geo shows that you have? And again, a perfect example of a way of using that, those certificates. There's a load of stuff in there. I'll just bring it up just to kind of show you guys a little bit of the difference. I'll just get rid of Dana's question here. So if I go here, for example, into National Geographic, this is on Disney Plus and here in the United Kingdom, we do get a lot more content. We got stuff here, like drugs, and you've also got documentaries here. We get lots on like German during World War II, got the Genius shows and stuff like this. So there's a lot more content in here. And as you said, I think they could really use that option of increasing it, like just start putting the 16 stuff in there, put things like Genius and things on there. It could be a great way of doing it. Noah says, bring the Doctor Strange for I don't know about the final trailer. It's a bit early for that because it's only February and the movie's not out till May. So, but I definitely could see something. Joshua said, would the spurge in Disney seem to be on the right moment? Do you think they would make a deal with Comcast to sort out the Hulk rights? There could be something in the deal to get this sorted. Definitely could see that. Let's see here. Steven says we need a Mary Poppins TV series. Do we? I think Mary Poppins Returns was enough for me. I'm quite happy to leave that one as it is. I think Disney Plus should definitely utilize live streaming, especially for things like the Oscars and live sports. I think this is coming in, and as Stuart says, do you think we'll see live streams? I think we're definitely going to see D23 live streams. And I'll be like trying to wave because I'll be there, hopefully. But yeah, so I definitely feel like that's the way of doing it. I think they will be adding that one. Steven said High School Musical, the musical late. I don't think they're going to be this year. I think well, they haven't even started filming them yet, so I'll be surprised. We might get one of them at the end of the year. There will be a WrestleMania ad during the Super Bowl. It's being produced by Peacock and not WWE. Vince mentioned it in the interview. He's not a big fan of promoting the WWE. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Disney Plus UK have been getting lots of National Geographic content pretty much every week since. Yeah, I think there's been a changeover with the TV series, with the TV rights of what's going on. But saying that, it's actually going the opposite way. I think we're losing more National Geographic content than we're getting. There's a lot being removed lately. Joshua says, depending on how far Disney wants to spend, perhaps they could pay Sony for more access to their catalog. See, this is a bit odd because they just signed a new contract with HBO for Central Europe. So they could do, but yeah, I mean, I would have thought they'd do definitely try and sort some deal out. It makes a lot of sense. Oh, look, there's a question here from Legan and Jugger's pretty much just said what I said. They've just announced their deal for theaters. So Spider-Man is all, yeah, so that's exactly that one. No, said bye, Roger, enjoy the Super Bowl. I'll be honest, I probably won't watch it. I did play a little bit of NFL last night on the Xbox. But yeah, so I probably might check out the highlights tomorrow. It's on at like stupid o'clock. I'll wake up in the morning and watch it then. Kayla said, I remember a few days ago, Disney announced that they were partnering with Jeremy Renner and Brie Larson's. Yeah, they're doing a lot of content. Jeremy Renner's show Renovations, which I still think is a fantastic name, and also Brie Larson's it looks a little bit like Marvel Superhero Project. So there's definitely getting that one. Johnny says it would be great to have live streams and Star Wars Celebration. 100%. Kayla said that said, I remember Disney was teasing a partnership with I'm going to try and pronounce that one. Back in September, there hasn't been any updates. Yeah, I do try to follow what's going on over there, but it's tricky with my little bits. Nola's going to be watching the Super Bowl. Good on you. Hopefully, it was at the Rams versus the Cardinals. Johnny T, Renovations is such a good title. Yeah, it is such a great title. Matt says, when do you think we'll get more international content added to Disney Plus? I think now they've added it up with Snowdrop. Again, just get this stuff out there, make it global releases. I understand sometimes you might want to get it out in like South Korea first, but if you're going to put it on there and they're not putting on subtitles or anything like that, or dubbed or anything like that, you might as well just put it at the same time, like Rookie Cops, which is currently being released on Disney Plus in Australia. Australia's getting tons of stuff every week. They're getting loads of stuff. Knoxwave says, will Disney Plus have an Investors Day this year? They might do, but I imagine they might hold on, because if they're doing Disney Plus Day and Star Wars Celebration, probably San Diego Comic-Con, D23, do they need one? Don't know if they will need one. Josh has said, when are we likely to hear about Disney, what they'll be releasing in 2024? Probably 2023, probably next year. I think it's probably a little bit far off. Steven says, Discovery brought the Premier League of 50 rights. Not sure how that works. Yeah, I mean, they basically just brought BT Sports. You also said, did DC have it? Yeah, they had their DC one. It was DC Unlimited. No, DC something or other. I think they ended up merging it with and just turned it into the comics one. Now, there was another question, I'm sure there was, about so here we go. Surprised the Wuzzles haven't been. Yeah, that one's one that's been going around for a while. Joe says, just watched Death on the Nile this weekend. It was brilliant. It's a bit faster than Orient Express, which I like the cinematography and the acting. I'm going to be watching that when it drops onto Disney Plus here in the UK. That'll probably be maybe April, I would imagine. Bubba Trolling says, what do you think about the Discovery Warner Media? Makes total sense. I think this is a great move. I think we need some consolidation, strip down some of these streaming services. I think it will give Warner a bit of a better boost, more, making more stuff. Also means in the more competition for Disney, which means that we get more better content. So there's a lot of great stuff in that one. Okay, so just a heads up, we've got about 4 minutes left. Yes, so as everyone's telling me, it is the DC universe. I never subscribed to it because I got bored of all the DC shows. I did used to watch like Flash and Arrow, and then once they started introducing like Legends of Tomorrow, I kind of drifted off. Johnny T says Disney Plus Australia originals should be added to Disney Plus in the UK. It will be easy to add as it's already in English. It's not really that they're Australian originals, it's just that they're APAC originals. So Australia and New Zealand come under the APAC region, which is Asia and Pacific, whereas obviously UK, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East come under a different division. So that's kind of how they seem to be doing things. DC did have their own streaming services. It flopped since there was not enough content outside the library. Glad it got. Yeah, I think DC Universe still carrying on as comic books now, isn't it? When is Malcolm X coming to Disney Plus in the year? The documentary, they've not announced a date for that 2020 documentary that's coming this month yet. They've not said that one. It could be next Friday or the Friday after, I'd imagine. Josh is here. Who'll be next in the mergers and acquisitions? I think Lionsgate and Stars is the next one that makes a lot of sense for someone to pick up. Lego Ninjago Discovery announced that they would be merging with HBO Max with Discovery Plus in the future, where Discovery Plus hasn't launched yet. And I mean, it just makes sense. Merge them together. I mean, I'll be honest, I've had 2 years free of Discovery Plus, and I think I've used it once. I don't use it very much. Kaylee said, speaking of HBO Max, once it launches in India, I know Disney Plus will lose I think you're going to see a lot of that. But if they can build up more like FX content, that's why they're all building up this extra content. Right. So there we go. So we're at the end of the live questions, unless you've got any more to go. So again, thank you very much for joining me on this week's episode of our weekly Q&A. Thank you very much for your support. Stephen went on to add, what did you think of the new Jurassic World trailer? I thought it looked really good. I really like that one. It looked a lot better than the last one. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that one. I think that one looked great. Okay, guys, on that note, thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your questions. Thank you very much for all of your support. Thank you very much for all the super stickers. That was really good. And all your extra support really makes a lot of help. And yeah, and thank you very much to everyone that was in the live chat. There's loads of you. It's great having it all in here. I'll be back next week for another live edition. And on that note, guys, thank you very much. See you guys soon. Latest.